Hi, my name is starisfilth. Today we're going to be doing a viewer VOD with a low Plat DPS player. If you want to get your VOD reviewed like this, join my Discord, go to the free coaching tab, and then go to the README channel, and from there you'll be made to read the rules, and you'll click on the button, the reaction button, to give yourself the role to access the free coaching channels. Now understand that everybody that posts in the Viewer VODs channel has read the disclaimer, and they understand that I'm going to be blunt, and I'm going to be honest, and if I'm making any jokes, it's the same type of jokes that I would be making to my students and personally, and everybody who posts in here is like pretty much a regular poster in the Discord, so it's not like I'm just randomly roasting people that I don't know. But yeah, I am going to be honest, and I'm not going to be sugarcoating anything. Now, I'd also like to add that this Sunday is when my sale, my birthday sale ends. 20% off of all coaching sessions for this week. The sale ends on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. EST. And once you buy a session, or once you buy whatever package, you can hold on to them for as long as you want. You can redeem them as often as you want. You'll be getting all the perks that you get from buying private sessions. More info on that is in the Buy Private Sessions channel in my Discord. And I'm also hosting a giveaway on my Discord server for 3 separate coaching sessions for 3 separate people. If you want to enter that, go to the announcements tab in my in Discord, and from there you'll see the post, the birthday giveaway post, and just click on the reaction. You'll be entered, and the winner will be announced on Tuesday. Monday will be the final day to enter. Okay, so let's just get straight into the VOD then. So I'm gonna watch a bit of this and not really gonna say anything. Again, this is my first time watching this footage, and I'm just gonna let it play out before I make any comments on anything. Okay, so one thing that I already noticed, it's this is like kind of like a quality of life change for yourself. What I notice is that you're kind of you're forcing yourself to open, or like you're forcing. Well, first of all, stepping in front of a shield isn't okay. Can we stop that? There you go. Stepping in front of a shield isn't exactly the best idea. Don't try not to do that. But the idea is that right now in this position, it's like if this shield breaks, where can you go that will keep you not only covered, right? Because everybody, pretty much everybody knows that it's like you take cover to keep yourself alive, but you also want to be thinking, what position can I be in that'll allow me to quickly get back into the action after, right? And it's like, or like that I can sustainably do that, right? That's where I think it would have been better off for you, instead of standing like right here, you could be working your way back as the cart moves up and going like this, and you're cutting off the angle, so then less and less people, like, because when you're up here, you're potentially opening yourself to people like the Ashe, right, who obviously isn't looking at you, they're looking at the fucking Lucio. But the idea is that you need to be in a position where you have you can easily close angles if you need to. That's the point, right? So that's where I would say working your way slowly back here would be better for you. So then you don't end up in a situation like this where you're like extremely low and all it takes is one shot for you to be hit. Whereas like if you got this low here, you can at least take cover quickly, put down your healing station, and then get back to what you were doing, right? So yeah, that's just that one thing from right now. Good focus on the Ashe. Okay, so I'm not really too sure about you dropping down here. Having the high ground allows you to do so much more with such little, with like so much less risk, right? And alternatively, having the high ground and preventing the high ground from being taken also makes it so that the enemy can't put as much pressure on your team, right? So that's making that's making it an easier job for your healers, right? To actually keep your teammates up if you're preventing the enemy from taking the high ground. So I don't really like that. So that's why I say, like, I think if you were up here, you could just rotate back here and kill the Reinhardt who's overextending if somebody makes that call, or you can like come up here potentially, and just whatever, right? But then the idea is that you can quickly go back and then fight whoever it is that comes up here. That's why this position is so highly contested a lot of the time, especially in like high level games, because this position gives you access to everything. It gives you access to your back line, gives you access to their front line, it gives you access to like the payload, right? You have a little bit of everything, and that's why the high ground is so important for you. And you want to do whatever it is that you can within reason that will prevent you from losing that ground. So normally I would say don't shoot at tanks like too long. You ideally want to be like shooting at squishies. But when there's nothing else to shoot other than a Sigma shield, go for it, right? The Sigma really doesn't like it when his shield is down. And great kill. But yeah, like there's really no issue with just shooting the Sigma there and his shield. Okay, so now that you've pretty much ended the fight, you need to be doing something to take high ground and or like have some sort of alternate angle to the enemy, right? So let's see what you do. Yep. So the other thing that I noticed that you're doing a lot that is like a very bad habit to have is jumping, right? Jumping is very bad in that it makes you lose control of your character, and there's just no reason to do that, right? For one thing, losing control of your character in this way, it makes you easier to hit, obviously, right? Because the animation of the jump is predictable, right? People know where it is that you're going to be when you're jumping, but jumping makes you very predictable to be hit, right? So there's no real reason to be doing this, just like out in the open. And then the other thing that you're doing is because the fact that you're on the low ground with your team, you're just exposing yourself to all this shit, like tanking damage for no reason, right? You just got hit with a dynamite. You've been hit with, I'm pretty sure, Sigma shots. You got stunned, booped, frozen, poisoned, fucking like everything's going on to you right now, and it's like there's just no reason for you to actually be like going through this. Okay, this is me while I'm editing. I thought I mentioned this while I was recording, but apparently I didn't. You built your ultimate, and you're not in any position to use it, right? You see, you lost the player on your team. This is where you get a counter kill with your ultimate, right? If you're on the high ground, you would be setting yourself up for your ultimate, right? The closer that you get to your ultimate, the more, especially like in between fights, the more that you want to be thinking about how can I set up that ultimate for that next fight? How can I set myself up optimally to get the most value out of my ultimate, right? In this case, if you had been on the high ground, built up ultimate, you see that your team gets shit on from the front line, although you probably could have maybe actually like done some damage to squishies if you're on high ground or contesting some form of different angle, rather than being in the middle of your team. You probably would have built ultimate, if not get a pick, and then from there, if somebody on your team does drop, then you can use your ult to get a counter kill back, right? Like you could easily be playing, you can easily back off from the high ground, like you're staying on the high ground, and you can just like insta kill the Mercy, the Valkyrie Mercy, right? So then you cut off the sightline from the people on low ground and you don't get picked off. Or you could go up to the bridge that's towards their spawn, have a super aggressive angle, and ult from there. There's like a million possible things that you could be doing, but it's like you're exploring none of those opportunities right now. Like that one meme, like, damn shorty, you live like this? That's not funny. But yeah, like you get booped and stunned and condemned and burned, shocked. There's no reason for you to be in that area. Just take the high ground. Right, that helps you avoid so much, Then it also makes it that your teammates have to heal less. They don't have to deal with keeping you up, right? It's just keeping up the tanks. And again, you can support yourself with your fucking healing station, right? Okay, so you're poking main. Yeah. So this is bad, for many reasons. For one thing, you're not McCree. This would make sense if you're McCree again. If you're just like you're shooting at people who are overextending, and you're within your backline, and the Sigma's wasting shield, so you break it. People are overextending, so you can just like headshot them. But that's not really your forte, in that you need to be catching people by surprise. It's not really easy for you to be landing headshots from back here, is what I'm trying to get at, right? And there's a reason why you don't. It's because it's hard, right? So right now, what you should be doing is, especially during whenever your team dies, you should be and whenever you die, you should be checking for hero changes on the enemy team and your team. There's one key change in teammate that you have, and it's the Doomfist, right? So the Doomfist is going to be very important for you because ideally you try to engage with him, right? As Genji, you ideally want to be engaging with somebody who's going to be diving in. But other than that, when you don't have that, you just need to be farming off angles and trying to farm blade as much as possible by getting squishies low, right? But in this case where you have somebody to actually dive with, you see how you're like 58 health, you know you're close to blade, why be here? Right? There's just no reason. You easily could be on top of the high ground just spamming like this. If you wanted to spam at tanks, do it from the right position, do it from here, right? Instead, like, or you could, again, it closes the distance for you, it makes it so they look less at your teammates, so then they take less damage. It just makes everything easier for your team if you just play the off angles / the high ground when it's appropriate, right? Your Doomfist is in, you weren't there, that's fine. He just punched a tank. It's not really like your issue. This is something that you need to be dealing with, right? But again, you're down here. Are you gonna kill her? No, but you at least pressure. Good, right? That could have gone worse. But yeah, that was fine. You have blade. Ideally, you get out of here so then you don't have to get fucking hit with everything. That's the one thing. Just make sure that just be careful with committing your dash onto an Ashe who has her coach gun. She's always going to use it to get away, and you might lose it. That's where I say one of the better things that you can do with your blade is instead just dash straight into the Ashe to try to bait out the coach gun, and then from there pop your blade, and then you follow up on her with the blade. Or you just close the distance on her without having to pop without having to use your dash, and then you're immediately on her with your first slice, and then where she coach guns away, then you dash after her, right? So ideally you try to close the ground in some way. I would say like potentially here you could, like if you drop down on her. But sure, this is fine. Could have been better, but it's fine. The target was right. That's the thing. Yeah, okay, good. Kill the Mercy. Kill the Mercy. Nice. Okay, good job. How'd you miss that? Whatever, you got the kill. Who cares? Why'd you give up this high ground? Right, just like how you killed the McCree, there's no reason why you can't just be like right here, right? Or like even just like standing like right here potentially, but I think you'll get seen. But ideally you're standing like right here. Maybe you can third person peek with the emote, right? Something, right? But the idea is that you can be keeping people from. That's your point. That's the point of view. It's supposed to be like as a DPS, not so much as Genji in particular, but it's like you need to be like contesting the angles that you know the enemy will come from. You want to make it so they have as few angles as possible, and right now you're not doing that, right? You're firing at the tanks, which I guess is okay, but look, Engagement? No? Okay, no engagement yet. He's setting up. This is where I'd say you ideally try to set up, instead of even poking, sometimes it's just better to not even poke and literally just don't reveal yourself and just set yourself up for the engagement you know that's coming. You see the Doomfist going? Is he going to get in? Come on. There we go. Where are you? Back here. Right? Not able to follow up. This is such an easy kill for you and you know it. Right? This is like, what, 51 health? And then this is an instant kill. That could potentially, if you decide to go for like here, but realistically, if you're playing here, you're probably gonna get like these two. But that's not the point. This is so easy for you to get these kills and just instantly win the fight, right? Just because one DPS is down doesn't mean the fight's over, and there was quite a few opportunities here that you could be getting something out of. Do you not have your dash? Is that why you didn't go in? No, you have your dash. Let's go back and actually look. You had your dash this whole time. Yeah, look, right? There's all these things going on, but it's just like you haven't set yourself up for it, right? So this is kind of similar to the soldier situation where it's like after the fight has gone on, or after the fight has ended, you haven't done what you needed to do to actually make your job easier for yourself, right? You clean up because your team like spams ults, it seems. So I mean, not even so much spams ults, but what'd you just use? Orisa ult and Baptiste, yeah, I guess. But I think you just got a little bit lucky. Although I have a feeling you're gonna lose this. Ugh. Nice. I would say just get out. You need to get out. Yeah. There's no reason you should be losing that. That's 100% on you. You should have been cleaning up that kill with that engagement. Or those kills with that engagement. Right. Okay. So going back. Okay, so you're coming out on the Echo here. What are you doing? You decide to go out through main. Okay. So I have some issues with this. One, you're not past the 15 seconds. So the clock hasn't hit 3:45, which means that you have no. There's literally no, like, you don't know what the enemy's running really, unless if you checked through the window, which you didn't. But even then, a lot of times they'll hide, so it's like you don't know, and sometimes you just can't make out what they're running. But the thing is that you can't see what the enemy team is running when until 3:45 when you press tab, right? That's when you get an exact understanding of what exact heroes that they're running. So you doing this, just throwing yourself out into the open here, leaves you exposed to potential snipers that you don't know that they have, right? Right now they're playing with the Ashe and the Baptiste. If they notice you, if they're playing smart and smart hit scan players, well, smart DPS players and supports in general will be looking out in this area because they know that a lot of rollouts happen in this area, and generally people will go to contest high ground. If they see you here, you're going to get lasered, right? You're going to get absolutely destroyed. I would say at least don't expose yourself and make it so that like you get into a position where it's like you could potentially be like you see your team walking in this way. As soon as they start engaging, then you jump out this way. Like maybe this would be better. If not, I would say you can come around here. The one thing you have to worry about is up there, right? So that's why I'd say maybe right here would be good too, right? Because it allows you a lot of cover. But the point is that like any position other than what you're doing right now is probably better. But yeah, again, it's like it's just kind of like the point is that you want to be finding a position that has the least amount of shit scenarios that can happen to you. And like walking into here, like you see your teammates have engaged, or at least your Reinhardt has. This is where you should be just pummeling them with bombs instantly. You did pummel them with bombs just now, but it's like the point is that it should be earlier, right? You should be having the kills right now. If their Rein didn't feed, I'm pretty sure, well, not feed, but just overextend, he literally could just be like shielding this whole time, and he protects his team, and then you don't get these kills, right? So that's a Rein mistake. That's the reason you're getting these kills right now. Realistically, you want to be setting yourself up, staging for the engagement that comes, similar to the Genji. or similar to what you were doing with Genji, where you're staging for that Doomfist engagement. You need to be staging for whenever it is that your main tank and their main tank collide, right? Or if you had a Winston, for example, or literally just in case like the Genji, right? When the Genji wants to go in, you should be there helping him, right? But the whole thing is that you do it from an angle that they don't look at, like, or that the enemy team isn't looking at. So it's like when you walk through here, everybody was pretty much looking through here. So it's kind of just like pointless, right? That's why I say even going through here might be better, but literally anything, honestly. I would say realistically, I think the best angle would probably be like right here, right? Although this is the most risky. You have health pack, you have your ability to fly away. You're pretty much fine, but you should be taking a bit more aggressive positions in this regard. Nice, nice. There we go. Good job. Nice, huge. Yeah, should probably stick to projectile. Okay, so I don't really see the reason why you need to be giving this up. I think well, I mean, you're not giving up main, but I feel like you could be challenging some form of angle right now, and like you could be getting closer. This is where I say I would be looking for you to try to get up here, right? Because it's like, what can you not do here right now in this moment that you can't be doing down here? There's like nothing that you can be doing up here that like you can't be doing down there as well, right? Because it's like, or sorry, there's nothing that you can be doing down there that you can't be doing up here, right? And if anything, it's safer for you because you have a health pack. You can just sonic arrow right here. You have that advanced position to see if somebody walks up here. Then you have the sonic arrow, and you can just like act on that advanced position. And then alternatively, you can just be like sitting right here firing at the shield, just like fucking up the Reinhardt. And then because you're putting an off angle on him, he's gonna have to back up, right? Otherwise, if he walks forward, then his backline is fucked, and that's where you can take opportunity of things like that, right, Moira, right? But again, you're not doing that, right? And that's why I say that you need to have that kind of transition where it's like, right, team fight's over. I killed what was it, the McCree that you last killed? You killed the Baptiste. You got the shot on him. I need to be going up here, taking the high ground. I would say come back up here, climb over these things, and then just sit around here, and you'll be fine. But yeah, literally even just being above them, you can see that there are moments where, like right here, you can't take advantage of that from down here, right? So that's why I say you need to be dominating angles, right? You need to be controlling as much of the map as possible, right? Because right now this Moira is dead. Like if you landed that shot, that Moira is dead. But the whole thing is that you haven't provided yourself the opportunity to even try and land that shot. So no, you're not going to land it. So one thing too, you could be considering, you could be thinking of it like this, right? Um, a good DPS player, or particularly like a sniper, or just like a hit scan player in general. Well, yeah, just DPS players in general. Um, it's not so much that they have great aim, but it's also that they give themselves so many opportunities to miss because of how good their positioning is, right? So they position themselves well so that if they miss a shot, they have opportunities to land more and more and more shots after that. Whereas, like, if you being down here and the Moira peaks once, if you miss that shot, you're not going to get an opportunity to land it again, right? A good DPS player or like like a GM player will be doing everything they can to give themselves as many shots as possible that they can miss, right? Because that means more shots that they can potentially land, right? Okay, so if we had to organize this in terms of like the easiest things you can work on, I would say one, try to limit your hero pool. It's not like it's going to prevent you from climbing. If you enjoy playing the heroes that you want to play, or that you're playing, and it's like you just want to play them and you don't really care, play them. Who cares? But just it makes it easier for yourself if you limit your hero pool so that you're either playing hit scan or you're playing projectile. From what it seems like, you've been playing a bit more projectile than you have hit scan in this game, so why not? Two, I would say that this is probably the main issue, is that you're not taking the initiative after fights to set yourself up for the next fight. And by doing by setting yourself for the next fight, that's things like taking the high ground, setting yourself up for off angles, setting yourself up for potential engagements like the dives, for example, with the Genji, with the Genji and Doomfist, or with the Echo. In your case, you're running the Echo. Um, the third thing I would say that you could potentially be working on is stop fucking jumping, please. I beg you, stop jumping. And then yeah, I mean, I'd say like those three things are three things that you could potentially work on to help yourself here.